Yeah, 모두 다 빨리 박수 쳐 기다리지 말고 서둘러 Reason that I'm back is to feed you raps I see that you are 배불러 So fly
Steve, welcome. I think that Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets superstar center, defending NBA champion, he's won 2 of the last 3 MVPs. He's headed for his 3rd MVP. I think he's starting to get the Caitlin Clark treatment. He got a little bit last year when Kendrick Perkins stole that 3rd MVP trophy from him by promoting Joel. And now you got 2 jokers, Kevin Hart and Cedric the Entertainer. Let's watch this clip. They're saying it would be bad for the NBA if Nikola Jokic won a 3rd MVP. Let's watch the clip.
They do a good job of keeping the ball in SGA's hands, allowing him to facilitate and do what he needs to do, get active, but also embed, or I guess you can say just incorporate the other players when needed, when necessary, into like the flow of the game. But he can take over a game at will.
But you also got to think about the Joker. The Joker.
They cannot give Joker any more MVPs.
No.
The NBA cannot give Joker any more MVPs. It's not good for the NBA. Joker cannot win another MVP. Let's just.
And he's doing his thing.
Can he win another Finals MVP?
Well, that's different. That's playing the game. But the league MVP, I feel like you're right. Like they can't really do that at this moment. And he's having a great year, but it doesn't feel like that dominant year the way I would say SGA is. You made a very great. Man, you know what? I just sided with you, Kevin. You just did it. You just sold me. Anybody show of hands?
Thank you, man.
Anybody else with Kevin? Show of hands?
Is this Caitlin Clark or is this 2 comedians or do they got a leg to stand on? Is SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is he really should he be the MVP? What's going on here?
I mean, first of all, I can't lie. I was kind of impressed by the basketball analyzation of Kevin Lockery Hart. He got into the X's and O's there. Okay, that wasn't all that bad, but okay. So this is very timely that we're bringing this up there, Mr. Whitlock. We just recently had a great discussion on the OJ trial. Seems to me like this young, enterprising guy with the Denver Nuggets, he's the reverse OJ. He's NJ. So in other words, there seems to be a group of people that they really, the same people that got really invested into the juice being loose, they really don't want Jokic to win this MVP. And so whenever they step up the NBA and they're going to announce this, the MVP for this season, and if it's not Jokic, you're going to see some wild celebrations. In fact, you could probably put in the footage that we played a couple days ago of people like celebrating like they won the lottery. It'd be the same people, would it not? I mean, let's just be honest about it. This has now become somewhat of a racial and cultural issue within the NBA and basketball fans.
I'm going to tell you why I think you're right and 100% right. Because wouldn't Luka Doncic be the next candidate? Isn't he? People are like calling him the greatest offensive player in NBA history, which I think is way overcooked and an insult to Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain and a bunch of others. But it's like, it's got to be SGA. It's got to be a black guy. This is how the DEI mindset virus affects everybody. They think, we got to color coordinate who the MVP is. And so a white guy can't win it 3 out of 4 years. We got to give it to a new black guy. This whole mentality, people are like buying into this mentality of like, no, it's not on merit. Let's do what's the best narrative and says the right thing about the NBA.
They still have not explained why it would be bad for the NBA to have one guy win it 3 out of 4 years. That I actually want to know, what is maybe it's something valid that went completely over our heads, Jason. We'd be like, that Kevin Hart's pretty. By the way, Cedric the Entertainer, very disappointed in him. I watched The Neighborhood, which is the last sitcom that I've ever really watched, and the white guy Dave, the neighbor, is hilarious. I'm very disappointed he jumped on board with that. But here's the thing that it's interesting. They would have hated the era where Larry Bird won 3 straight MVPs from the 83-84 to the 85-86 season. And Jason, I was a lot younger. I wasn't tuned into the national media. There was not social media. There were not podcasts. and you're a little bit older than I am, but Jason, do you remember any backlash against Larry Joe Bird being a 3P? Really? But did you ever sense
and
that
so
people
do you.
think he didn't?
You remember?
Really?
No. You remember too. Once I say it, you'll be. You remember all the stuff kicked off with Dennis Rodman when he said
and Isaiah Thomas,
if Larry Bird was. Yeah, well, don't throw Isaiah into that, but I hear you.
Well, Isaiah was a part of it. He had to apologize.
He defended Dennis Rodman. He defended Dennis Rodman. There's no question about it.
I still remember that press conference. No, hold on. This is after the MVPs, though. I still from that because that happened in the '87 playoffs after Detroit blew that series. Okay, but during the actual stretch of MVP 1, 2, and 3, nobody ever said Larry Bird shouldn't win it, or it's bad, or he didn't deserve it. Okay, and when
I might have said it, I was such a Magic Johnson homer.
Okay,
just a Magic Johnson homer, but yeah.
But Magic never actually campaigned for it. And by the way, in '86, '87, Magic Johnson was given this directive by Pat Riley. He said after they lost to the Rockets in the playoffs, Pat Riley told Irv, you got to be the scorer. You're now our number one option. You just can't be a distributor to Kareem. And he scored like 24 points, had his first MVP. And it was deserved. No one ever said we need to give Magic this MVP. No, it was absolutely earned and it was deserved. And speaking of Isaiah, I'll never forget before game 1 of the NBA Finals, the beat up Celtics were going to get blown out. But I think a day before that game, they had this big press conference where Isaiah had to apologize. Larry Bird was forced to show up. And Isaiah said, well, this and this. Famous line from Larry Bird as he walks off the stage. I've read this. He goes, because he said, hey, Isaiah's a great guy. He said, man, I saved that little chip. What a great guy Larry Bird was, because he could have fried Isaiah, but that's a man of class and honor. But again, when Larry Bird was winning those 3 MVPs, I never heard anybody say that it was bad for the NBA or that it should have gone to anyone else in those seasons.
Well, it certainly, no one could make the argument it was bad for the NBA because the NBA was exploding at that time and with interest and conversation and just ratings and blah. So no way to make an argument that it's bad. I think what they would say is if Nikola Jokic's name was Cooper Flagg or Caitlin Clark, an American, maybe they wouldn't say it.
Oh, that'd be worse.
It's
bad.
That
might be worse.
Yeah.
That might be worse. Because now if it's white bread and corn-fed, oh, God, that'd be even worse now. Because then the argument would be, well, this guy tries to play every game and he shows up on time. Oh, man, that's all rooted in white supremacy. You know the way it works. This guy doesn't even talk back to his coach. He actually likes to play basketball. Oh, my God. Come on, that this is all intertwined here, Jason. We keep it real here. We're fearless. Come on now.
There's a tiny bit of truth in what you're saying, but
tiny. Okay, Archibald.
Tiny, but I'll just say this: there is this DEI mindset that hey, let's don't give these awards out based on merit. Let's give it out based on an outcome we think says the right thing about the NBA and says the right thing about the voters, and it's not a good look. And I, it's halfway making me hope Nikola Jokic does win the MVP because they stole his 3rd one last year. And so maybe it'd be a terrible thing if he didn't win it.
The finals. I'm a Laker fan in recess till a certain guy leaves our franchise. But I was talking about this off the record with Scap Attack. I think that Denver Nuggets have now become my new pseudo team because I'd like to see the torturous reactions that if the Nuggets hoist another Larry O'Brien trophy, it is clear beyond a reasonable doubt that Jokic is the most dominant player in the league. This doughy white guy who cannot get off the floor, who does not get off the rim. And part of it is, and I've told you this before, Jason, is that I'm sick and tired of these new age fans who keep saying that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson could not play because they're not athletic enough. As if and I hate when they say, well, you're an old head. You're stuck in your old ways. Right. And my counter is, yeah, you're dumb and stupid and ignorant. So I'll take my knowledge over your ignorance. It's just the way it works here.
Thank you, Steve. Great job as always. Hey, I want to thank our great friends at Good Ranchers for allowing us to do this. Fall in love with beef, chicken, and seafood all over again. Order you some Good Ranchers. This episode brought to you by our great friends at Good Ranchers. Use my promo code FEARLESS. Go to goodranchers.com. Save 10% with my promo code. We'll see you next time.
Waiting for the countdown, coming off the breakdown, standing in line for freedom. Looking for a breakout, feeling like a standoff, nothing in life like freedom. Came in like a fighter, striking like a ladder, making all these moves for freedom. I want freedom. No negotiation, my sister, no relation, we all just wanna have